Hello, Democratic Party of Evanston. I'm Margaret Croke, and I am a candidate for Illinois State Comptroller. I'm currently a state representative, and for my entire career, I've dedicated myself to public service, and it's been my mission to make Illinois the best place to earn a wage and raise a family. My first job in government was at Cook County, and I was the person who was answering the phones for a commissioner. I'll tell you, it's not the best place for an idealistic staffer sometimes, but I quickly fell in love with solving a constituent's problem or navigating the bureaucracy of government and making a person's hour, week, or life just a little bit better. And I feel like my entire career has been me chasing that high. It's one of the reasons that I still answer the phones in my own office, because the best legislation that I have drafted has come from my constituents. Immediately before I ran for state representative, I was deputy chief of staff over at the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, where I oversaw personnel, legislative affairs, and special projects, including capital. And that office is actually larger than the Comptroller's office, and it oversees billions of dollars and their disbursement. But when we took it over, it had been devastated by the Runner administration, so we had to completely rebuild it. And as a state representative, I've focused on economic development. I've stood with Governor Pritzker to enact balanced budgets, a big advocate for our credit rating upgrades, and I chair financial institutions, so I become the foremost authority in payment processing, depositories, and fintech. I value fiscal responsibility, but I believe that it goes hand in hand with protecting our most vulnerable communities. I have been on the front lines of investing in education and healthcare and our social service safety net, but we can't invest in those things that we care about so deeply without stable funding. And we can't leave our kids the state that they deserve without a fiscal house that is in order. I'm running for comptroller because I know that we can do even better, and there's never been more at stake. And I think we need to be proactive about our problem solving. So here's my plan. I believe taxpayers deserve to know the details of how state dollars are spent. So modernizing the comptroller's software systems is incredibly critical. Individuals, nonprofits, businesses should be able to see the life cycle of taxpayer dollars. And I believe this will add transparency, and harnessing innovation will allow the office to identify federal match that we're not taking advantage of, and have better predictive financial modeling. I want to simplify the auditing system for local governments and create a technical assistance office so that townships and municipalities don't have to pay $25,000 a year and countless staffing hours for their audits, but that this is tiered out depending on the size of the local unit of government and can instead focus on serving their communities. And lastly, I'll work with the legislature to codify the comptroller's ability to enforce prevailing wage. I've got a 15 out of 15 prevailing wage voting record, so you never have to wonder where I stand when it comes to workers' rights. I want to be clear. Being comptroller, to me, is more than just spreadsheets and balance sheets. Every budget that we have passed and every dollar we spend as a state is a moral decision, and it shows what we value and who we are. You know, I've got 3 kiddos at home who are 5, 3, and 2, and I will tell you that every time I take a vote, every time I read the budget, or I take a meeting, I am thinking about the impact it will have on them and every child in the state of Illinois. Because I love the state of Illinois with all my heart. And I want to make sure that this is a state where future generations can get the best education, can get the best job, and raise a family if they choose to. And right now, it's just such a crucial moment. Our families are under attack in Washington, and there's so much chaos, there's so much economic turmoil, and it's all being delivered to our doorstep. Household budgets are all the way up, and our state budget is incredibly tight. And unlike the crises of the past, we don't have a federal government that we can rely on. But I think the good news is that Illinois doesn't have to wait for Washington. We can lead by example, showing what good governance looks like with responsible budgets, modern systems, and leadership. I'm running because I want Illinois to be a place where families don't have to choose between childcare and putting food on the table, where small businesses are paid on time, and where every Illinoisan knows that state elected leaders are managing taxpayer dollars as responsibly as if they were their own. I know I will have done a good job when people think about the Comptroller's office and they know that that is an office that is maximizing every single precious taxpayer dollar. I think Teddy Roosevelt said it best, that it's better to be a person who's actively fighting in the arena, doing what you believe is right, than to be someone who is on the sidelines criticizing, even if that means failing. I know I'm in the arena. I know DPOE is in the arena, and I believe that together we are going to be able to balance our books, we're going to be able to invest in our people, and we're going to be able to give our kids the future that they deserve. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video, for believing in the work of the party, and for standing up for a stronger Illinois. I look forward to earning your support and your vote on March 17th. Thank you so much.